Good morning and welcome to Inspirational Slow Flow Yoga. We are going to start on our backs this morning, and I'm just going to give you a couple different options. So you might want to have a blanket folded up, running the length of the back to provide just a little bit of a heart opener, so like a supported fish. If you want to go even higher with that, you could take two blankets on top of each other, or you could use like a bolster if you have that. If you don't want that, you would just want to be flat, absolutely go for that. And then taking something for behind the knees. So a rolled up blanket, you could have a blanket here under the back and a bolster under the knees, whatever feels good too, but just creating a little soft bend in the knees to help to support the low back. So have a couple blocks handy. If you have a strap, we might use it. And then we'll come on our back. You want to make sure that whatever you have under the back comes close to your seat so that your low back is supported. So make sure that that happens and then roll on down. You can also keep those knees bent if that feels better for your low back. So listen to your body. Notice what your body is instructing you to do this morning. Turn the palms upward and begin to close your eyes and just settle in. Feeling the weight of your body, just beginning to make contact with the earth and whatever you have underneath you. Just allowing the body to begin to soften and become more limp, more relaxed. Take a moment to just kind of scan yourself, noticing any physical sensations that you're feeling, any thoughts, any feelings that are present, and just observing and accepting. Observe and accept. We can't, first of all, change what we're not aware of, but second of all, when we go into a space of resistance and try to push away or ignore feelings that we have, they're just going to get louder. And so just acknowledge what's here this morning and allow yourself to just show up for you. This is your practice, your time, your process, your journey. Begin to slow and deepen your breathing. Finding a nice, slow, steady rhythm. One that feels authentic and natural for you. So feeling the rise and fall of your natural breath. Breath flowing through you, flowing through both nostrils. Exhaling, releasing, letting all the breath go. You can breathe out through the nose or through an open mouth to just help you be in a space of just letting go here. And with every breath, see if you can begin to expand. Go wider, fill up a little bit more. With a slight pause at the top of that breath, or maybe holding that retention a little longer. And then when you're ready to exhale, exhale completely but slowly. Take your time. So maybe you're doubling the count of your exhale to your inhale until you arrive at the very bottom of that breath, squeezing out all of the air. All the stuff that hangs out in the nooks and the crannies of our lungs to make space for a fresh new wave of breath to come in. Every breath, feel yourself just softening, becoming more present. Today I want to spend some time talking about transparency. Mother Teresa said, honesty and transparency make you vulnerable. Be honest and transparent anyway. Being transparent means taking off the mask that we sometimes hide behind, revealing who we really are underneath that. And we wear lots of masks depending on the people we're around, the roles that we play. But when we're being transparent, we're going below the surface to reveal what's happening inside, in our hearts, in our soul. And we're allowing our true self to be seen. It can be really exhausting to be in that space of wearing those masks all the time, or hiding our true feelings, or hiding our true self. And we're not meant to hide. We're meant to be seen, to be experienced, to be heard. And so as we begin to kind of center ourselves around this idea, I want to share with you a poem that I love by Dana Fall. It's called Birthright. And she says, despite illness of body or mind, in spite of blinding despair or habitual belief, who you are is whole. Let nothing keep you separate from the truth. The soul, illuminated from within, longs to be known for what it is. Undying, untouched by fire or the storms of life, there is a place inside where stillness and abiding peace reside. You can ride the breath to go there. Despite doubt or hopeless turns of mind, you are not broken. Spirit surrounds, embraces, fills you from the inside out. Release everything that isn't your true nature. What's left, the fullness, light, and shadow, claim all of that as your birthright. Continue to breathe layer by layer, just letting that land for a moment. Feeling your heart nice and open. It takes courage to be transparent and authentic. It's interesting because courage has also been translated to mean open heart. Open heart. Today we're going to spend some time opening into our heart on a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level. See that beauty that lies within our true self, our true nature, our true essence. Begin to bring your hands alongside your hips, and we're just going to press ourselves up for a moment, coming onto our forearms. Good. You can engage the legs if you like by pointing the toes toward the front of the room. You can have the prop underneath it still there, or you can remove it. But we're going to press into those forearms and begin to really lift through our chest. So press down, root down to rise up, opening into that heart space. And if you'd like to, you can begin to draw the chin in and let the head roll back, only if that feels okay for your neck. Just breathing here. Maybe open the mouth, breathe out through an open mouth, just cleansing the pathway to speaking our truth. Beautiful. We'll slowly begin to just press ourselves up for a moment, and then we're going to move out whatever's underneath us to come back onto the back. So you can bend the knees and gently roll yourself down. And draw the knees toward your chest. Just give them a nice squeeze. Rocking a little bit here to, from side to side, excuse me. Just a loving hug. Hug of appreciation that you showed up today. Good. Allow the knees to separate, just taking them wide for a moment. Just allowing them to kind of come in toward your armpits. So maybe even using a little arm strength to hug them in a little bit tighter. Just releasing into that low back. Bring those knees back together, and if it's available, we're going to start to see if we can interlace the hands or even take elbow for elbow behind the knees now. Flex into the feet like you're holding the ceiling with your feet. Using your arms, hug those thighs in. At the same time, kind of energetically press your heels up, but don't release your knees from away from your chest. If it's available, we're going to reach for the big toes with our first two fingers and begin to separate those knees into a happy baby. But if you can't reach your feet, don't worry about that. You can just take a hold of the backs of the knees or the backs of your calves. And we're just going to rock here in this happy baby position. Just using time, breath, and gravity to open the body today. Now, if you'd like to, you can begin to kind of straighten into one leg. So maybe straightening the right leg, coming back to happy baby, then straightening the left, and continue to kind of rock like this. Starting to open the inner thighs, as well as the groin area, and your hamstrings. Beautiful, and then we're going to come into just a wide open A. So you can release your grip on the feet if the toes feel too far away, and just take your hands to the inside or the outsides of the thighs if you like. Keep softening your shoulder blades down and keep releasing the seat toward the mat as well. Keep checking in with your breath. If you're holding on to the feet or legs, release that. Bring the hands alongside your hips. We're just going to make sure we feel nice and grounded here. Shoulder blades are releasing back and down. And then we're just going to cross right over left leg. Turn the toes out, and then inhale, open the legs back up. Turn the toes toward each other, cross left over right. Turn the toes away, open the legs. We're going to keep doing this alternating, which leg is on top, but you're rotating the entire thigh bone in the hip socket, not just the foot and the ankle. So breathe here as you move. Starting to heat up the core a little bit as we stretch the body. And then keep the legs wide. Reach the arms up overhead, maybe interlacing those hands and releasing the index fingers into temple mudra. And then on the exhale, we're going to squeeze and come up, pointing toward the front of the room, maybe even lifting a little higher through the seat. Inhale, reach arms back up overhead. Exhale, coming up. We're just igniting a little fire in our belly. Center and seat of empowerment, our will, our purpose. Reminding ourselves that we have a purpose to fill, and shrinking back or hiding, not revealing our true self, does not serve our higher purpose. Exhale. Beautiful. We'll bring those legs together, flex the feet, take the arms to the sides like wings, and then gently begin to rock the knees side to side. So we'll exhale as we go to the side, inhale as we come back up, exhale as we go to the other side, just hugging those thighs together to help ignite and engage the muscles of our core. Keeping your shoulder blades relaxing on the mat the whole time. So notice if one shoulder wants to lift as the knees go in the opposite direction, and plant it down, root it down. Keeping that heart nice and open. Twists are so good for helping detox the body. Oftentimes it's our thoughts that keep us from being transparent. Thoughts that I'm not enough or I'm too much. Comparisons that we make to other people. Judgment, doubt, fear. Next time those knees go over to the left, we're going to let both knees relax to the left. Here, if you want to, you can adjust your legs. You can always extend that top leg if you want to. You can stagger the legs. You can even come into deer legs where you bring that knee, right knee to the inside of your left foot. Just kind of see what feels good. Or you can even support between the knees using a blanket or a block. Take your gaze over your left hand if that feels okay for your cervical spine. So go where you feel led to go and breathe into this. This also helps with digestion and elimination. And a lot of times we have to digest and eliminate thoughts, feelings, old stuff. Move it through us. Good, engaging the core. We'll slowly bring those knees back up and then adjust if you need to so you feel aligned on your mat, and then we'll bring the knees over to the other side. Just taking a deep twist here. Again, adjust the legs however you need to. Soften your left shoulder toward the mat and maybe gaze over your left hand. You might want to exhale through an open mouth. Again, just continuing to cleanse the pathway to speak our truth that flows from our heart. Slowly roll back onto your back, drawing the knees toward your chest. One more time. And then we're going to take our hands behind our legs and begin to roll like a ball. So coming onto the sits bones and then back onto the back. Let those legs roll overhead. Keep breathing. And then we'll roll our way all the way up to a standing forward fold. Feet will be about hip-width distance apart. Make sure your knees are deeply bent. I want the belly and the rib cage pressing to the thighs. And if you want to get your blocks handy, you can bring them up toward the front of the mat so they're there and available for you. Nice straight spine, shoulders draw away from those ears. Now you can bring the hands to blocks if the floor feels far away. We're going to begin to rock back and forth. So we're going to like lift the heels and then roll back and lift the toes. And so just kind of rolling through the feet. Spread the feet wide as you do this. It'll be like a little grounding exercise too. You'll notice that more of your foot contacts the earth. Good. Once you settle in with those feet nice and wide, toes spread out, really plug into the 4 points of the feet. And then let your head hang. Draw the shoulders away from those ears. Just breathe. On the inhale, bring your hands to your shins. Lift halfway for length. Tail slides back, crown moves forward. Good. On the exhale, fold over your thighs, knees bent. Inhale, peel yourself up off of your thighs. Press into the feet to rise all the way up. Nice. Open the arms wide, a little V for victory, nice open heart. Exhale, hands to your heart. Beautiful. On the inhale, press the hands together, reach the hands all the way up toward the ceiling. Maybe take your gaze with your hands. On the exhale, swan dive, bend those knees deeply, bring your belly toward your thighs. Bring your hands to the backs of your legs, round it out. Inhale, hands come to the shins, lift halfway. Exhale, bend those knees, round it out. Inhale, sweeping all the way up. Maybe a little bit of a V here for victory. Exhale, hands back to heart. Good. Inhale, press the hands, come all the way up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Rounding out. Inhale, lift halfway, maybe even a little mini back bend. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, sweep all the way up. V for victory. Exhale, hands to your heart. Beautiful. Last time, inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, swan dive. Bend those knees, round it out. Good. Inhale, lift halfway, but we're going to bend those knees deeply. Good. Reach the arms forward and sink down so that your hips are moving toward the height of your knees. You might not get there, that's fine, but we have a nice straight spine. We're going to do some breath work into chair. So we're going to come up into chair pose. Make sure you can still see your knees. Shoulders stack over the hips. Soften that tailbone. Really draw that navel in so you have a nice flat back. Good. On the exhale, we're going to throw it down. Like we're going to throw our hands down and breathe out forcefully into a forward fold. So inhale, coming back into chair pose. Good. Exhale, throw it out. Use your breath. Inhale, back to chair. Exhale, throw it. Inhale. Good. 2 more like that. What do you need to throw down? What do you need to let go of that keeps you from being transparent? Last time, exhale. Come on back up. And come all the way back up into standing. Good. Bring your hands back to heart center and then really plug down into those feet. So grounding down, legs engaged, soften the tailbone down. Draw the shoulders back and down, lift through the crown of the head with your eyes closed. Feel into your body. Feel the activation of your breath. Feel the energy moving through you. The stuff that you just let go of has been composted into the earth. Breathe here. We're going to shift our weight over to our right leg. And then on the inhale, go ahead and pick up your left knee. So you can have hands at hips. You can even help the leg if you want to, or you can reach the arms overhead. Good. Keep drawing that navel in, lifting through the spine. Get as long as you can here. On the exhale, cross that right knee over. You can bring the foot to the floor if you like. You can also use a block here, or you can let it float. And we're going to bring the arms out into flying eagle. So maybe that heel or foot, is lifted. Foot is flexed. Maybe it's on the floor. On the inhale, come back up. We're going to pick back up and lengthen. Exhale, cross it over. Oops. Flying eagle. Inhale, come back up one more time. Exhale, flying eagle. Breathe here. Good. We're going to hang out in this posture for a moment. Again, you can always use a block for support. Slowly begin to bring the upper body up. Keep the knees bent. We're going to come into eagle. So we're going to wrap our right elbow over our left, so opposite of our legs. You can bring your hands to your shoulders. You can bring the backs of the hands together, or you can bring the palms together. And then settle in here. Maybe you even bring your thumb to your third eye. The center and seat of wisdom, intuition, knowledge, a deeper knowing. Nice. We're going to slowly come out, releasing the arms, release that leg, shake it out. Holy moly. Last breath here. Good. Plug back in. Come into mountain. Take a moment with your eyes closed to feel your body. You might notice a difference between the two sides. Plug into those feet evenly. Rounding down. Shift your weight over to your left leg. And then we're going to pick up the right knee. Once again, hands can be at hips, heart center, reaching up. Lots of breath here. On the exhale, we're going to cross it over. Once again, you can bring that foot to the floor or to a block on the outside of that leg if you want to. Reach those arms back or let it float. Inhale, come back up, pick up the knee. Exhale, crossing over, flying eagle. Inhale, pick up that knee. Exhale, cross it over. Good. Now the eagle will land. So again, we're going to bring the upper body up. Opposite arm on top, so left elbow over right. You can take a hold of your shoulders, or you can wrap up those arms. Maybe bring the thumb to the third eye. Maybe you're floating that leg. Sink into it. It'll give you some more stability and balance. Where's your breath? Good. Slowly unravel the legs. Float that foot down, shake it out a little bit. Reconnect with your breath and body. Inhale, sweep those arms up overhead. Lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, fold out. We're going to step the feet back, coming right into a
down dog or a child's pose. So if you're in down dog, hands are wide, shoulders are drawn away from the ears, crown moves forward, tail is lifting up and back, walking it out, feet are parallel or slightly pigeon-toed in. If you're in child's, maybe the knees are wide, maybe they're close together. Just be where you want to be. Feeling the strength of this pose. Or feeling the rest in the pose. Good, and then when you're ready, we'll all meet in child. So you can take the knees wide. Feel free to place a blanket under the knees for support. Or behind the knees if you need some additional support for your knees. Good. And then reach those arms forward if you like, or stack the hands, or even reach the hands back toward your feet. And just settle in. Command Kojori said, you have to be transparent. So you no longer cast a shadow, but instead let the light pass through you. I love that idea that we are so transparent that we are letting our light pass through us to be seen. We're all meant to shine. And the world needs your light right now, more than ever. On the inhale, go ahead and come on up to all fours. We'll make sure those knees are directly underneath our hips with the toes tucked under. And then have your blocks handy. We're going to bring them alongside our ankles. And then we'll stand up onto the knees. Good. So grounding down into the feet and the knees, inner spiral your thighs so the legs are nice and engaged. Soften the tailbone down, drawing that navel in and up, just like if you were in mountain. Roll the shoulders back and down here too. And then on the inhale, sweep those arms up overhead. And then make sure your legs are engaged and begin to press the hips forward slightly. Beautiful. Now, if it's available, I want to invite you to reach the right hand behind you and see if you can find the block. So you can always bring that block up onto its highest level. Coming into camel, a variation of camel, and then we're going to reach that right arm back. Left arm is reaching up and back as well. Breathe. Keep pressing the hips forward, keeping those legs engaged. On the inhale, reach that arm up. And then we'll do the same with the left. So once again, you might choose to bring that up onto a higher level. Reaching that left hand back behind you, and then reaching up and over with the right. On the exhale, slowly come back up, hands to the floor, and then we're going to round it out into cat. So curl that tail under, draw your navel in, round your back, chin to chest. If you want to get even more rounding, you can begin to reach your hands back toward your feet and bring your head toward the floor into rabbit. So go with what feels best for your body. Drawing the shoulder blades away from each other. Good. Then bring the tops of the feet to the mat and come into a tight little ball in child's to counter that back bend. Breathe here. Shannon Elder said, don't ever let anyone put out your light because they're blinded by it.
So often our light can threaten other people. But that's not about us, that's about them. So we are meant to keep shining, we are meant to be authentic and transparent despite what others may think. Slowly begin to come up. We're gonna find our blocks once again, bring them toward the front of the mat, and then step your right foot forward. Good. Toe heel your left foot back so you have a nice wide stance. You can keep the knee down or you can keep it lifted, your choice. So if you want to be in that low runner's lunge with the knee lifted, feel free. And so we're going to be rocking back and forth a little bit between this lunge position and between a modified pyramid. So we're just going to straighten into that front leg and fold forward, then bend the knee, sliding that heart forward into a low lunge. Again, if the knee is lifted, we're just going back and forth here. Shoulders draw away from those ears. Good. Next time you come forward, press into your right foot, and then we're going to lift up the left foot. So you're going to come all the way up. Toes are going to point down. And I'm going to give you two options. One is we're going to do a little core work. So if you want to, you can add the right bicep by the ear. And then on the exhale, we're going to bring the elbow and the knee together. Otherwise, just keep your hands down, extend that foot away from the body, and then exhale, bring the knee in. So it's kind of like doing tabletop extensions, but from this warrior 3 kind of position. And exhale. Good. Bring the hands back to the blocks, and then we'll step our back foot forward to the front of our mat, excuse me. Inhale, sweep, ride that breath all the way up to standing. Exhale, bring your hands back to your heart. Good. Inhale, sweep, arms are going to lift. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Step those feet back. Once again, releasing into child's or taking a moment in down dog. Walk it out, breathe here. And then everybody meet back in that child's pose. So last week, I submitted a chapter for a book called The Lemonade Stand 2, and I shared some very personal details about my journey with love, relationships, and my faith, called The Alchemy of Love and Faith. And it was terrifying to share that and know that people are going to be reading this about me, but at the same time, I knew that I was supposed to do it, that it would land in the right hands and the right ears, and it would inspire the people who are meant to read it. But I will tell you, just like Mother Teresa said, honesty and transparency make us vulnerable, and being vulnerable can feel really scary. We can feel really exposed, naked. But the reality is that it was liberating. It was so freeing. It was like all of these layers of shame and fear just fell off of me, or like I socked them in the face just by telling the story. It is so incredibly healing to stand in that space of authenticity and transparency. Curtis Tyrone Jones said, "Give it air. Let the scar on your soul reveal itself, because like the body, it too was made to heal itself." So as we reveal our soul and the scars on our souls, there is healing and there is freedom. We're going to slowly come back up and we'll step that left foot forward now. Coming into that runner's lunge position, you can have the toes tucked and the leg lifted, or you can keep the knee down, your choice. And then once again, we're going to just begin to rock here. So maybe the knee is down, maybe your leg is lifted and you're kind of rocking back and forth here. Just loosening into the hips, but also stretching into the quadricep and the hamstring of our opposite legs. So go with what feels best for your body. Maybe a little bit of both is in order. Good. Coming forward, tuck the back toes. Hands to blocks or the floor, and then we're going to gently kick up that right leg. Nice. And so our options are on the exhale, hug that knee in. On the inhale, extend it back. Or you can also add the arm, reaching that left arm, so opposite arm forward, and then exhale, bringing elbow to knee, squeezing it in. Unfortunately, I have a dresser here, so I can't really extend my arm forward. So work with the space you have. Breathe here. Good. Now we're going to step that foot back and then pivot so that we're wide on our mat and angle your toes out. Good. Bring your hands to your knees and begin to come up, stacking shoulders over hips, ears over shoulders. So allowing those knees to open, outer spiraling our thighs. So the knees move toward the feet with the feet pointed out. And you can adjust how close or far apart your legs are, because that will make a difference in how this feels for your knees. So adjust as needed, but a nice long straight spine here. Good. We're going to start with our hands to our third eye. We're going to stretch and reach up, and we're going to bring our hands over our heart as we sink back down. Me. I. Reaching up, and hands to heart. Me. Maybe you want to add something else. I am authentic. I am transparent. Something else that kind of speaks to you. Beautiful. Couple more like this. Breathing as you move. Good, and then we're going to turn our hands in a downturn triangle over our power center. This is like the center and seat of will, empowerment, that place where our gusto lives. Is to bring forth the truth of who we are. Empower yourself to do that. It's your birthright. It's part of your purpose. Close those eyes, maybe picture a yellow light here. Good. We're going to reach those arms out to the side, straighten the legs. I'm going to angle the toes slightly forward. Kind of bring them a little closer together. We're going to come into a star shape, because you're all superstars. We're going to start to shift our weight over to our left leg and then begin to pick up the right. So you'll need to flex into that foot, and you can kind of play with lifting it and lowering it until you start to find your space. Draw your navel into your spine.
little shooting star here, shining so bright. Check in with your breath. Good. Come back. And then we're just going to roll the shoulders back and down for a moment. Maybe the head. We're going to start to come into this shape on the other side. So shift over to that opposite leg. And then again, maybe start to kind of kickstand it up a little until you lift and take flight. Open heart, open body. Not apologizing for taking up space for who you are or what you have to say. Beautiful. Float that foot down. Feet are parallel, pointing forward or slightly angling in this time. Slide those hips back and begin to fold up and over those legs. And release the head. So I think one of the reasons why sometimes it's hard for me to really reveal the depths of my heart and my soul is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of lack of acceptance, fear that maybe I will be fully seen, maybe that I'm not perfect, maybe that journey of mine has been a rough one. Walk over to your left leg and begin to fold over that leg. Leonard Cohen wrote the song Anthem, and in that song he says, "Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in." And I would argue that's also how the light gets out when we're transparent. And sometimes I feel there's so many cracks that I'm kind of like a mosaic candle, but there's beauty in that too. So to begin to walk through the opening and over to the other side, folding over that leg. Just letting go. Truth of the matter is that everything we've been through, every choice we've made, every mistake we've made, all of it brought us to where we are right now. Carved out our character, our strength, our perseverance. We're going to slowly walk back toward the center. And then we'll toe heel our feet together. Lining up the feet and the knees, begin to bring the hips down toward your heels as you lift the heels up. You can come down as far as you feel is available. We're going to begin to balance here, so hug those thighs together. You can also put blocks underneath your hips. So if you want to create a little stool for yourself, feel free to do that. Bring hands to heart center. Hug the midline, hug the center. The heart is the center and seat of our personality, our passions, our desires, our endeavors, our purpose. It's also the center and seat of courage to bring that to fruition. Good, we're going to slowly release, coming all the way down onto our back. Gently draw your knees into your chest. Again, rocking side to side. Keep that right knee drawn in. And then we'll send that left leg all the way up long to the mat here. tug. We're compressing into that right hip, into our psoas muscle, which is our fight or flight muscle, but also our ascending colon to help with digestion. We're going to hold on to that knee with the left hand, bring the right arm out to the side like a wing, begin to guide that knee across your body, softening your right shoulder toward the mat. Maybe take your gaze over your right hand. Breathe. We'll slowly unravel that twist and then switch legs. So left knee comes in, right leg long. Now working into the left hip, psoas and the descending colon. And always inhale through the nose, exhale out an open mouth, just helping you let go. Take the left arm out to the side like a wing. Begin to guide that knee across your body, taking your gaze over your left hand. Again, soften the left shoulder toward the mat. Every breath, just a little bit more squeezing out like a dirty washcloth. Slowly unravel, coming back, knees to chest, or whatever feels good in these last couple moments. Think about what your body needs. Maybe it's a happy baby again, maybe it's another back bend, maybe it's another twist. Maybe it just feels good to rock. And then we'll make our way into a big, beautiful full body stretch, lengthen the whole body. Feel all that beautiful space that you created. And breathing into that. Inhaling a couple times through the nose, exhaling out an open mouth. Just some cleansing breath here. Or maybe some sighs of letting go or relief. And then you'll settle into the final rest position of your choice. So you might want to have a blanket supporting the back of your head. You might choose to put something behind the legs. You might want to have the feet on the floor with the knees bent and constructive rest. This sometimes feels really nice for the low back and just helps the body feel nice and grounded. Wherever you are, make sure that heart is nice and open, palms are up in a space just of receiving in these final moments of rest where we integrate our practice. The most important posture you will do in any given yoga practice. Be still. I want to read to you one of my favorite excerpts from a book, from The Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. It's called Our Deepest Fear. And Nelson Mandela quoted this during his inauguration speech. And it says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous?
Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Slowly begin to bring some movement to the body, wiggling fingers, toes, perhaps moving your head side to side, feeling lighter, more open, more spacious. Gently gather your knees toward your chest, giving yourself just a hug of gratitude, love, appreciation. Showing up for yourself first and foremost. Roll to one side, just pause there for a moment. In a fetal position, position of possibility. And as you're ready, begin to bring yourself up to a seated position. Just finding one that feels comfortable and supported on your mat. When you find that seated position, make sure your spine is long and straight. Take a moment, rest one hand on your heart and one on your belly. So the heart is over the center and seat of our passions, our purposes, our endeavors. And the other hand over our belly, center and seat of empowerment. Just feeling those two places align. We're going to close our practice with 3 chants of ah. Bring your hands to heart center. Sound ah resonates with the heart chakra. It helps to open it. So take a nice big inhale in. Exhale out an open mouth. Ah. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhale, filling up, expanding wide. Ah. On this third one, see if you can add a smile as a bonus feature. Ah. The transparent, authentic one in me sees and honors the transparent, authentic one in you. Namaste, my friends.